For the rest of our lecture segments on the humanistic approach, we're going to be looking at some very cool research that was brought about through this approach. And this is some of my favorite research in this class. I want to remind you to have your self-assessment sheet out because hopefully you'll learn about yourself as we go. We will be hitting the 2 questionnaires that you filled out earlier. All right, so this is just kind of a roadmap, not covering all of our stops, but some of our stops in research today. So kind of an overview of some of the research we're going to be looking at as you finish up these segments for humanistic, the humanistic approach. In this first one, positive shrinking. What a great name for a study that looks at the weight loss and positive thinking, okay? Also, we're going to be looking at self-disclosure. You know, some of the benefits of actually sharing personal things about yourself with someone else. We're going to look at forgiveness, some really interesting work on something that is uniquely human, forgiveness. Self-esteem. You know, some things in life have very different effects on people depending on their levels of self-esteem. We learned about Maslow's needs, and we're going to learn about 2 more important ones that have proven to be very pressing and very important throughout our lives, no matter how old we get, okay, along with all of Maslow's. And then we're going to look at learned helplessness and some really interesting research with dogs and then moving into human beings. So we have a really interesting journey to go on in these last segments. I want to start though by looking at the focus of humanistic therapies because this is really different from the foci of the different approaches we've looked at so far. So the focus of the humanistic approach, one thing is to help focus people, clients, on forming meaningful relationships in their life. Remember that this idea is coming through something called existential psychology or existential philosophy. Any of you who've studied this before know that existential psychology focuses on the fact that at a certain point in life, people realize that they're going to die, okay? Usually this hits people around middle age, although people can really vary on this, okay? But this idea that life is so limited and life is so short and can and has actually driven some people to suicide. It's like they just can't handle it. What's been found is what can override that and give people a sense of enough meaning in their life to go on is 1, meaningful relationships with other people and also meaningful life projects. And what they mean here with meaningful life projects is it's all comes to Erickson's stage of middle life. Remember that idea of, am I doing anything of worth in my life? Am I leaving anything behind of worth of myself that is actually going to make a difference in future generations? Okay, so focusing clients on meaningful relationships does a lot of things. It helps to quell that existential angst, it's called. Helps to quell that. It also helps to put a client's problems in perspective, okay, when they are deeply involved in someone else's life. They can really do that. Meaningful life projects can do that too, especially if they're doing volunteer work with people who have larger problems, right? Will really help them to put their problems in perspective. The humanistic therapy, as we talked about at the very beginning, is also going to focus on the here and now. They're not going to let you live in the past or blame your problems on the past or live in a fantasized future, right? They're going to encourage you to live in the here and now and give you a sense of empowerment that you can do something to change what you don't like in your personality, that you can do something that can really make a difference. Okay? All right, so this positive shrinking study, the study with a great name, okay, what researchers did is they screened for individuals who were overweight and wanted to lose weight. So all these individuals in the study were overweight and they really wanted to lose weight, okay? And what they did, they didn't tell any of them to go on a diet whatsoever, okay? But they randomly divided them into two groups, and the first group was assigned to write for 4 months about, on a daily basis, to just take a few minutes in the evening before going to bed or in the morning when they first got up, probably depending on whether they were, what? Larks or owls, right? But to write about things that they valued in their life. And so it could be a thing, it could be a person, but they had to write about that and why they valued it. And then group 2 also had to write either first thing in the morning or last thing at night for 4 months, but they had to write about things that didn't matter. So for instance, they were assigned to write about things, for instance, one of them would be how they might rearrange their furniture. Okay? The researchers had a really interesting theory here. And so what they did was they measured these individuals' weight 4 months later. And group 1 lost an average of 3.5 pounds 4 months later. People who are overweight oftentimes tend to gain weight. So group 2 actually gained just a little bit, about a half a pound, okay? But group 1 lost an average of 3.5 4 months later. And, the idea here, is that, if you think positively about the things that you really value in life, you're going to value your life more. And so for one thing, you're going to need to do less eating for emotional satisfaction because it's going to help your mood. But also, you're going to value your life more, so you might eat less just because you know it's good for you and that you will live longer. Even if it's on a subconscious level, okay? That was the idea here, and really panned out in the results. Now, I want you to think about something. I really want you to think about this. Do you think that it's going to last, this effect on group 1, it's going to last much longer than these 4 months? Or do you think it's going to fade off? Okay? And you might have guessed the answer to that, right? If they keep on writing, if they keep that habit, that they've now probably established of writing in the morning or the evening before bed, then there's a chance that it will keep on until they're at a more healthy weight.